Hey there everyone, welcome back to Game Vine, and today we are going to get Horrified. So as a disclaimer, this is a review copy from Ravensburger. Now, as we near the final days till Halloween, I wanted to take a look at a spooky game, but this isn't crazy spooky. This takes all the universal old school monsters like Frankenstein's monster, the mummy, and even the werewolf. Now this is a co-op game against all these monsters. You can make it an easy version, you can make it a hard version. Now the gameplay is super light, and so is this spooky theme. Now it's there, but it's not super gory. If you've seen some of the old movies, they are scary, but they lack the blood and all that kind of stuff, which is actually a good thing in my book, because this means I can play it with the family. Now the production of this game is spectacular. So let me go ahead and show you that spectacular production, then I'll tell you how to play and give you my thoughts after that. Let's go. Here is what comes in the spooky box of Horrified. Now I am just staggered with the production right now, and so is Miko. Now everything in here is top shelf. The only thing that I would say is I wish these miniatures were painted and or a bit bigger, but for what they are, they're detailed. I like the soft plastic that they are, so they don't actually warp easy and or break if you kind of bend them. They got a nice form, and the detail on them is really nice. Like I was saying before, all the cardboard components are nice, about maybe 3 tier, and the art on here is just stellar. Even the board, the colors just blow me away. Now it's still keeping up this old horror movie kind of motif on the cards and on these jumbo cards. These are basically the characters and how you're going to be executing them. They're completely asymmetric and unique. And oh man, okay, so my excitement, I'm trying to hold it in, and I am going to show you some of the basic cards here. Like I said, the motif is mostly on the cards where you see the art. So now let me tell you how to play this game and give you my opinion. So before I show you how to play, I wanted to show this off. This is so old school Universal horror flicks. They have this whole little read about right here. It's pretty nice. All right, let's go. All right, so the game's set up here for 3 players, and it's on easy mode. That means I have 2 monsters. I have Frankenstein's monsters and Frankenstein's bride, and then I have the creature from the Black Lagoon. Now what we're trying to do is defeat these monsters before this terror marker gets all the way up here, or before this monster deck is depleted, because if that one of those 2 things happens, we lose, and our only way that we can win is by defeating the monsters, by getting these items and doing the task which is described. And that's the cool thing about this game, I want to say off the rip, is each monster has a unique way of defeating them, so it's almost like having mini games inside of an actual big game, and that's pretty cool. Now each player will get a perk card. These are really good because they're really hard to get after you get the first one. The only way to get them is by rescuing villagers. I'll get into that a little bit more, but you'll set up the monsters where they're at, you'll pull some items, put them on the board, and now you're pretty much ready to go. Each player will be taking their actions as described as a number up top here, and each character has a different amount of actions, and each character has a special ability as well. So some are stronger than others, which is why they have more moves. So the first action is simply just move. You can move anywhere you want. That is a spot that is applicable. That's adjacent, of course. Or you can guide a villager. Now villagers are going to be coming out when you flip over some of the monster cards, and they'll be put where they're supposed to be put, and you can guide them if they're close to you. Like adjacent, you can guide them to you or away from you if you have them near you, or if a villager is next to you, you can take them with you, which is an action. Or you can do your special ability, which on this person here is you place a hero in any non-water space. So this person can jump around anywhere they want basically on the board, because you can do their special abilities as many times as you want on your turn. or you can pick up items. So you can pick up one item from the area, or if there's multiple items, you can pick up all of them with the pickup action, with one pickup action. And there's no limit to how many items you can have in front of you. Again, these are going to be used to defeat the monsters. And if you're in the same spot as one of your fellow mates, you can share, and there's no limit to what you can share, and there's no one-to-one ratio. You can just give items to a person, and you guys can then split up to defeat the monsters. And another action would be advancing the monster track. So I'm going to go over those a little more in depth, but you'll be using these items to advance the monster track, and that counts as an action. And then defeat a monster. It's kind of like advancing the a track. You're using items to defeat the monster, and again, that costs an action. Let's go over some of the perk cards. They're pretty good. So this one right here says choose a space with a hero. You may place any number of heroes at that space. So if you guys need to gather, that might be something, especially if their monsters are starting to circle in on people. You can place a hero in any non-water space. Again, there are water spaces, which are these one right here. And this creature from the Black Lagoon is going to be moving when monsters move to get you on your turn, because after you've done all your actions, it's the monster's turn, and they're going to be executing their actions. So you're going to be flipping over one of these cards, and sometimes they will go off and sometimes they won't. It will depend on what the card actually says. So this one right here says, if a hero has a haunted emblem, give it to the current player. Move the Wolfman 3 spaces towards the hero with the haunted emblem. So Wolfman is not in this game, so it's not going to happen. But if we had Frankenstein or a Lagoon card, the action event will actually happen. But the thing on the bottom always happens. I did fail to mention the top number up here are the items that you'll be drawing from the bag and placing on the board. And again, the items will tell you exactly where they go, and this is how you're replenishing the items. So the bottom ones here are the monsters that are going to move and or attack to execute on their turn. Now we have the creature from the Black Lagoon that is moving on this turn, and it will tell you how many he's moving right here and how many dice that he'll be using. So he'll move 1 and he'll attack with 2 dice. These dice correspond to him right here. Now the hit dice are these little bursts, and that would have been bad. And if he were to hit one of these people or in multiple spots, he will be swinging at everybody. Then if you have items, you have to discard the items for as many hits as they rolled, and then you discard them and you're safe. Or if you don't have those items, you will then advance the terror track up 1 and then move the people who got hit to the hospital. Now the other emblem here is the frenzy marker. If you haven't seen it, it's over here on the monsters here. This will trigger the frenzy monster to go, so multiple moves can be done by one monster in one turn. And the monsters always move to a villager or a player that is closest. So if they ever kill a villager or attack a villager, well, villagers don't have items to protect themselves. They just get offed and the terror track comes up. So it is imperative that you save them, but sometimes it might not be the most important thing to do. You continue to do this, getting the items, trying to advance the track and defeat the monsters. Each monster has a unique breakdown. Now, I'm not going to go over all of them, so if you want to learn that, there are other videos out there for that, but I will go over the 2 monsters here that I have and how to beat them. This is the character breakdown card. There was one face of the dice that I didn't show you, and this is exclamation point. Every monster has a special ability that they'll do if this hits, and this is move, well, rock the boat, move the boat back 1. And that is because you're trying to advance this boat all the way to the end of the track to be able to attack the monster and get rid of him for good. So how do you advance it? Well, you have to play these items. So as you can see, there are blue, yellow, and red items. Every time you play the color, it will advance to the next closest one. So if you play a blue item, it goes there. Play another blue item, it goes here. Yellow, red, and continue so forth until you get to that layer. And once the boat is on the layer here, you'll be able to defeat him by discarding 1 item and driving him away once you get him there. So that's how you beat the creature from the Black Lagoon. He's the easiest. So these 2 right here, you need to help them save their humanity by ticking up these scales until you get to the end, and then help them meet up to beat these 2. So in order to do that, you have to get your character to Frankenstein and then have yellow items to tick up this all the way up to 11. And once you're there, you'll flip this over knowing that you have humanity at last on Frankenstein. And the same goes with the bride, but she only needs 8 blue ones. Once you have done that, then you have to get these 2 together, and once they are together, voila, they leave you alone and live happily ever after. Now their special power here is move the bride 1 space towards Frankenstein, and if they ever connect without being humane, then the terror track will go up 1. So you want to try to not let that happen. So there are a lot of minute rules, and like I said, there are other various characters in here. Dracula, the Mummy is my least favorite one because he's super hard, but that's how you play the game. Now let me give this game a grade and tell you what I think. Let's go. That's how you play Horrified, and yes, I absolutely love this game. Now, I'm not a huge fan of the old school monsters, though I'm not averse from them. I've seen most of the movies, and I like them, but I'm not going out of my way to seek out properties with them in it. But this one just hit the sweet spot. The fact that it is a nice cooperative game, and the visual appearance of the board, the components, cardboard, plastic, miniatures, all of them, just, it really stands out on the table, and whoever sees this game is going to be, oh man, that looks cool, what's this about? It's easy to teach, and this can be played with the youngins or some of your grandparents. This game, it's got such a huge demographic, and I highly recommend this for anyone, especially people who want to play a game on Halloween. Again, like I said, the theme is not gory, but the depth of the theme is super there. When you're going against Dracula, you're getting the stakes and all those type of garlic and items to actually take him out, which is super thematic in this realm. And with the Frankenstein's monsters, they kind of are my favorite. Trying to make them more human, to love each other. You're not actually taking them out, you're helping them become in love, and then they get to live their whole life humane and in love. So it's just, I love the theme of this game. You can play it solo. I played this solo so many times. It was just as good as when I would play it with my partner or kiddo. So I don't think I've given this game a grade yet. It gets a 90 from me. So I highly recommend this game. If you want a Halloween game, you will not go wrong with getting Horrified. It's got a great price, great production, great theme, and it's great for everybody in the family. So thank you again, Ravensburger, for providing us with this review copy. It really did make my day, or even my Halloween season this time. And thank you so much, Vi Nation, for stopping on by for this review. If you liked the video, click like, and if you haven't already, click subscribe. Until the next time that I see you, I am Dave, and have a great rest of your day and a great time with all the spooky games that you play with. Happy Halloween, everybody. I'm out. Bye. Miko, it's time to go. Good girl, Miko.